Duchess DJ Love, host of Gallivanting Like a Royal, where we discuss travel inspiration and how to live a royal lifestyle. So join us on Sundays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Fresh Takes TV network, streaming on the E360 TV platform. And again, it's Duchess DJ Love, Gallivanting Like a Royal. And this is my platform to share the love one heart at a time, and traveling opens doors that you didn't know needed opening. So, and again, hello everyone, this is Duchess DJ Love, host of Gallivanting Like a Royal. You're not going to see my beautiful face tonight because I have a special presentation for you lined up. I'm going to show you how to publish your own book on Amazon for free. Zero cost unless you want to purchase a proof copy. Again, on Gallivanting Like a Royal, we share travel inspiration and how to live a royal lifestyle. So if you're going to live a royal lifestyle, why not publish a book? You got to be an expert at something, or just tell your life story. People need to hear your story because someone out there is now where you have been, and they need some help. They need some guidance. They need some love. So I'm going to share with you tonight how to publish on Amazon for free. It's really simple. It's really easy. So, just hang tight and we're going to start. I'm going to be watching the comments in case anyone has any questions. I can pause and address those. Again, Amazon Book Publishing Guide by the author and show host, Duchess DJ Love, yours truly. So thank you for joining, and thank you everyone out there. So as we go through, if you have questions, just type them in the comments and I'll pause and address those. Now, Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing is how you publish on Amazon. And you can do ebooks, paperbacks, a hardback. You can do a journal. And what I like about it is it's really fast, because publishing takes, it says, less than 5 minutes, and your book appears on the Kindle stores worldwide within 72 hours, basically 3 days. You can make more money this way. You're in control of what your books do. You can do it in digital form, print form. You can even buy your own author copies and sell yourself at cost. And it's so easy. So let's get started today. If you see down in the bottom, I'll put the link, and I'll share those in the comments afterwards. Now, first of all, do you already have an Amazon account? Most people have an Amazon account already. So if you do, you can use your current Amazon account to do your Kindle Direct Publishing. And if not, then we'll have to create an account for you so you can move forward. But it's easy, it's straightforward, really simple. Now, if you see, create a KDP account. This is easy. So it gives you step-by-step instructions on what to do. If you already have an account, when you get to this page, This is where you go ahead and sign in. If you don't have an account, this is where you sign up. Okay, and as it says, you create your account and follow the prompts. And like I say, it tells you exactly what you need to create your KDP account. Now, the most important thing is we want to get paid, right? So when you create your account, you must complete the getting paid and tax information. These are required fields. So be prepared to have your bank account information, your tax information, all that stuff, your legal name, or however, if you have a business account, however you're going to get paid, you need to have that information there. And I'm going to say hello to my audience real quick. Hi, Ben. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Nika. Hi, Ophelia. Marilyn's in the house. Hey, Marilyn. And Eddie, thanks for showing up, guys. So now, let's publish a book, okay? When you sign in, you're going to see bookshelf, reports, community, marketing. Your account up here is kind of like your home key. So whenever you do anything, you click on your account and kind of go back to the beginning. But the bookshelf is where we'll create our books. It's where we'll edit them, create the book covers, unless you already got yours designed. This is where all the work goes into play. And it tells you that printing costs will change on June the 20th. But again, it's not that much. But then again, that's where you need to be able to go in here and update your information. For those of you that already have books, you may want to go into the bookshelf and adjust your cost. That is something that you need to think about. And it says create, manage, publish your book. You click on the create once you're in the bookshelf section. And then what type of book do you want to create? It makes it easy for you. If you want to create a Kindle, you create the ebook, paperback. Or if you want to do a hardcover, you just choose. You just select which box you want to check on. Again, just click it and you're on your way. Now, once you're in your bookshelf, and you can notice at the top it says paperback details, because that's what I'm doing, a paperback. In process, paperback content not started, paperback rights and pricing. These are 3 main tabs that we'll work through. And as you go through the little boxes, prompts, it's got drop down for English. And then you put your book title, and you can use your subtitle if you want to add a little extra to your title. That's where you just enter that information. As you can see, this is pretty straightforward and simple. Again, basically fill in the blanks. If you're going to have a book with a series, you'll just add like series 1 or A, B, or C, whatever you want it under series. The edition number, if let's say you wrote a book and say it's been a couple years ago, now you want to update it and you want to call it a different edition so people know that it's the revised copy, you would put something there. The author, this is where you put your name, how you want it to read. This is where you state how the book is going to be titled. I mean, not titled, but it's going to say by, like I could put DJ Love, but I want it to say Duchess DJ Love. Let's say I want it to say Miss Duchess DJ Love. This is where you would put that information at. Now, let's say like some of you guys are collaborating and, each person's contributing a chapter. You would go under contributors and you would add their names. Just keep adding the names as it goes. I think you can only allow 10. Could be wrong on that, but I know you can do up to 10. Any questions so far, guys? How are we doing? I'm looking for you in the comments. Okay, we'll move on. Now, the description box is something that's very important. So I would suggest taking some time on this. Your description is what's going to show up in Amazon for folks to read to see, if they want to purchase your book. So my suggestion on this is you can format it in this box. I prefer doing it in Word document and format it to look how I want and just copy and paste. That way I know it's going to look, to my satisfaction. Now, let's say once you do that and you hit save, which we'll do at the bottom, and you go and look at it, it doesn't look quite right. Then you go back and use their formatting, this little box here, to make it look the way you want it. Some things don't transfer over the way you want it, so you need to go back and look at it and play with that and adjust that. The next box, publishing rights. Let's say that you want copyright of your material. You can request a copyright of up to 10 works. That can include, if you're an artist, you can draw sketches, or you write poetry, or, whatever your creative genius is and you want to copyright it, then you can go to that Copyright Gov registration and, apply. It's really a simple process too. And again, you can do up to 10 works on it at a time. So anything like photos or anything that you want copyrighted, this is where you do it. Again, it's straightforward and simple. Nikki, is there a cost to copyright? Yes, there is. It's reasonable. I think it's like $50. If I recall, it's been a while since I've done mine, but I think it was around $50. It wasn't really relatively inexpensive. Again, you can do 10 works. Now, the next section, the primary audience. Even though there's nothing in it that can offend children or not necessarily for children, I would still say my primary audience is adults. So is this book for children? I would say no. And that way, just knock that out. That way, I don't know if there's like limits or if they go and proof it to make sure it's suitable. I'm not quite sure what Amazon does with that, but I just said, no, it's not for children. Even though children can read it, and it's applicable, but Is there a monthly cost for the copyright? No, it's a one-time flat fee. Now that is subject to change, but right now currently not. What are the benefits of having it copyrighted? In today's world, there's not much benefits. It's just that if, let's say that you have something copyrighted and I see it, or I have something copyrighted and you put it in your book later on, Amazon somehow has a way of tracking that. And if you didn't give me credit for it, they'll let you know that it's copyrighted material. Either they can request you to give me credit or ask for my permission or make you take it down. So, and it's not strictly enforced, but because now once you publish something with your name, that's kind of like a digital copyright. But a lot of people want their material copyrighted. They want their photos copyrighted. They want their poems copyrighted. If it's like general information, you writing a book and it's telling your personal story, then you really don't need that to be copyrighted. But again, if you have something very unique and special, I would suggest doing it. And again, it's relatively inexpensive, and you can do up to 10 works, even works that that you haven't published yet, just things in the future that you may want to. You can put that all in bulk and lump it together and do it one time. Again, this is just fill in the information. A primary audience, we already touched on that. The primary marketplace, Amazon.com is pretty much what you want to choose from, unless you live in a foreign country, and then there's little restrictions. You have to choose whether it's UK, Canada, or those choices. But for us in the US, it's strictly Amazon.com. Categories. Now, this is a really good topic to talk about, because the categories is where you get to select where your book is going to show up. And if you notice down at the bottom too, it says, does your book classify as any of these types? Low content book, which is a journal, notebooks, planners. And what it means by that is it's a little different with the publishing. They're a little more finicky with those low content books. And large print books is great for when you put in your description. I have a large print book, so people with bad eyesight or just the elderly, they can easily read your book. That's why these categories are important to use. Hello, Shannon. Thank you for watching. Hope you'll publish your book too. Hold on just a minute. I'm going to get caught up with you in my notes. I haven't been looking at my notes. I've been doing this from memory. And press. So we covered the categories where you choose those. Keywords. This is something that the editors usually work on for you. But again, you don't really need an editor. This is something that we can do ourselves. And how you choose your 7 search keywords, here's what I did. You go online, let's say my book, Money Matters. It's a finance book. So I go looking at all the finance books that are the best sellers. I want to see what keywords they used. I want to see what's hot at the time. You know, what are people looking for? What terminology they're using? That's what I'm going to use. And that's what I suggest you use. And that way, when people are searching, your book's going to come up. And again, you can save as a draft at this point, you know, or you can hit save and continue and just move along. And like I said, bookshelf will list your books, Kindle paperback and hardback versions under the bookshelf. And you should show all your titles down here, and you can go through them and edit them and make revisions. And as you can see, I worked on Money Matters. This is my next book that I plan to publish. And it says, once you create one formatting type, like once I create this paperback book, it's easy just to click on to create your Kindle version or create the hardback version. Or if you already have a hardback version, you want to link it, you can do that as well. Here's what I suggest. I suggest doing the paperback first. Before you hit publish, go ahead and then when you get everything ready, you get your formatting, you get all the errors that they'll run through to make sure it's quality and everything is suitable for Amazon, all their little checks. Once you got to that point, when you're ready to hit that publish button, I would go create the Kindle ebook. Whether you're going to publish a Kindle ebook or not, create it. Reason being, something about the Kindle ebook version is it streams the grammar. It streams the way everything flows. It lets you know what is out of sync or what needs to be corrected. It'll look at the grammar and kind of like give you some highlights and say, hey, you sure you want this? So to me, that is a big plus. That's like having your own private editor by using the Kindle, because it will help you with everything that you're doing. And then you just continue on. And if you notice at the top, I put these, it says paperback details, how that section is complete. Now we're on to paperback content, where it shows we're in progress. And the third tab is the paperback rights and pricing. So again, you can tell that this has been relatively simple so far. You just roll right along. Again, you choose your language. This is the sample that I did. Money Matters was my title. And I put the subtitle is Make Your Money Work For You. And all this comes into play when we create the book cover. And again, you can upload a book cover, or you can have this platform to do it for you. And like I say, for my book, I selected categories that I thought would be searched the most based on bestsellers like Money Matters. And you can see what I chose. The nonfiction, self-help, motivational and inspiration, business and economics, personal finance, and money management. Those were the categories where I saw more people were going to buy books. You can choose other categories that might put your book higher up in the rank, so to speak. But if people are not searching that category, then what good is your book being number one in that category if no one's searching that category for your book? So you need to have your book under the categories that people are looking for. They're going to Amazon, they're searching, this is what I want money management. So I want my book to pop up so they can at least consider it. Okay, your ISBN number. This is how you get paid. This is kind of like that barcode that's on everything everywhere where they scan to get your, they can sell it, ring it up in the cash register, that kind of thing. You can use your own if you have one, and those are relatively easy to go to. You just go to the ISBN website. I forget the actual name of that website. They'll give you one. Or you can get one with Amazon. Since Amazon is going to be printing my books, I let them do it. And just FYI, when you go to Barnes & Nobles, which later on I'll teach you how to publish your book on Barnes & Noble as well, you'll have to get a different ISBN number because it cannot be the same thing as what Amazon is. You can have the same book on both platforms, but they just have to have different ISBNs because independent published, you have to, and they're going to be publishing it for you. That's where the trickiness comes into play. So, just keep that in mind. If you do Barnes and Nobles, you'll have to get an ISBN from them. Publication date. Let's just say that, you're working on a book and you got it ready. And let's say you don't hit publish tonight, but you don't want to because you want to have a big fanfare, or, you're going to be going to an event a month from now. You're going to be, you can tell everybody, hey, my book is going live today, purchase it. That's where you set the publication date so that your book goes live on that day. That way you can, promote it a month in advance and get people excited and say, hey, and then when the time comes, everybody buys your book on that day. It boosts your sales. It boosts your rankings on Amazon. And if you're in the right categories of people are searching, that's where they're going to choose your book. They're going to choose your book. So, hey, I want someone to choose my book. So that's what I'm doing. Now we get to the stuff that's not so easy. Everything else has been straightforward, right? If I've touched on something where you have a question, just type in the comments and I'll address it. But here's where things get a little tricky at. This is what I call the only hard part of the process. And to me, it's not that hard, but it is tricky. You need to select your ink and paper type for your book. So this is where you kind of need to go and read, what are they? What do they support? How does it work? Amazon is really good about giving you what I call tutorials, where you can just click on these links and read. For my book, I was choosing the black and white interior with white paper. Now on my travel to book, I chose the standard color interior with white pages. So it's according what did you publishing, because I wanted it to be in color for my travel to, because I'm showing pictures. I'm showing you photos of my journey. I didn't want you to see black and white. I want you to see the color and live through my travel. But on Money Matters, it's more or less teaching you how to make your money work for you. So there will be some photos, but they can be in black and white. It's not going to make that big of a difference. So you need to think about if you need color or if you need just plain black and white. And again, this will affect your pricing and what it costs to publish your book. Now, here's where people get stuck a little bit at. Maybe the most people don't want to publish because this is where they're going to get stuck. They're like, okay, Duchess, I've ran all the way through these other things. Everything went smoothly. You're right. It took me maybe 20 minutes and, I just took my time and I was being very thorough. When I get on this trim part, that's where things got a little haywire. It gets a little messy. Again, this is why you go under each one and read what is trim size, what are bleed settings, what is the cover finish. These, again, to your preference, what you're looking for. Okay, once you decide how you want your manuscript to look, I should say the trimming and the bleeding and all that, like this kind of gives you an example of what it looks like. You need to load up your manuscript and it tells you what it will accept. Again, I prefer Word because you'll see later on, I'll show you some errors that I received. To me, Word is easier for the system to correct. You can use PDF, but then again, if you use a PDF version, sometimes if you have something outside of margins, it's hard for the Amazon version to actually make it fit. So if you choose the Word doc, and let's say you're out on a few places and you really don't understand how to tweak it to make it be within the margins, the Amazon system will just come in and condense it for you and still make it look good. So that's how come I have a preference with using Word doc. But hey, you guys might be smarter than me or better at a different platform. So you have to use what works best for you. I'm just showing what has worked well for me. And uploading your manuscript is simple. It takes a little while, but that's no biggie. Now, the next thing, once people get over the hump with the trim and the bleeding and all that, the other part, the book cover. You can upload a cover that you already have, but I think you need to be an experienced person doing this to do that. Reason being is I think I'm rather sharp. I tried it with a book cover that I planned and trying to get it sized and so it meets their requirements at the right places. I just got aggravated. I'm like, this is taking too much time. Granted, I probably could have spent a little bit more time on it and not got frustrated and made it work. But when I was doing travel to, I didn't have time to fool with it. So I'm like, okay, let's just generate something via Amazon. So that's where you'll click the launch cover creator to create your book cover. And they have all kind of things, pictures and different things for you to choose from. Really, they make it simple. So then the next step is the book preview. And once you get all this stuff, you're ready to see how it looks. And what happens when you click the launch preview, it brings it up in a PDF file and just kind of shows you exactly this is the way each page is going to print off. So if you look through the page and you're like, okay, I don't like the way this is, or too much spacing here, then you can make some notes so you can go back and change it. Again, your choices are save as draft in case you're done for tonight, you've worked on it. It's like, okay, I'll touch this tomorrow. Or let's say it's early in the day and you're like, no, I'm going to get this out. You hit save and continue and roll along. Oh, what file did what file did they take for the manuscript? They'll take Word doc. I don't know how you would take it in HTML, but or RTF, but hey, they say they take it and they give you a listing up here at the top. Whoops, back. But I prefer using the doc. And then, like I say, it says that they can do the manuscripts. Yes, and that's for the book cover. There's all different kinds. Let's say you have a photo, Nikki, that you want to use. You have to transfer that into a PDF file to use it. And it has to say be print ready. And what they mean by that is it has to meet all the margins, all the specifications, and I'll show you guys that in just a little bit. And again, I remember I said that you had to upload your manuscript. This is just showing you what it looks like, telling you that it's uploading. It takes a little while to do that. Not too long, but it does take a little while. And as you can see, I uploaded my Money Matters document. It says successful. And let's say that you do your file and I don't know, there's some corruption to it. It will tell you not loadable, go back and edit. So you'll do that. And again, you can edit the manuscript as often as you need to, even after you hit publish. Let's say you need to go in and make some changes to add something different, or there's something that you were given some information, it's been changed, or there's an updated circumstances, like say, like Nikki, you went from Ladies of Leadership to Bomb Global, just say you were referencing one or the other, you can go back in and change that and still hit your publish button after you do your editing. Like I said, they make it simple with no matter what you have to do, it's simple to do this. Now here's what we'll do if we're going to use their cover builder. And they give you examples. You would choose your design, you do your style and edit, and you can preview it. It sounds simple enough, but let me tell you, this is where I spent the most time with Travel to, is trying to get that book cover to work. I didn't understand how to make it work. I was getting frustrated, but eventually it's kind of like, trial and error. I figured it out. So I'm here to help you guys so you don't have to go through all those headaches. You would hit continue. And here's where it tells you step by step. You want an image for your cover. You can get it from your image gallery, from your computer, or you can skip this step until you figure out how you want your book cover and what you may not even want a photo once you get the cover, organized. That's just what you can do to have a placeholder so you can move to the next section. And let's say you want to use some of their free gallery images. Just type in the topic. Like I chose money. I put in money and search. And then all the different things they had come up for money that I could use that's free. Or, non-copyright, I should say. Now, as you look at this, it says choose your design, style and edit, preview, you got your guidelines. It's giving you some different scenarios of how you would like your book layout to go. And there's way more than this. This is just for me to show you quickly on here in the PowerPoint. the different ways they have it laid out. And once you want one, if you decide you want one, you just click on it. And then it'll pop up for you to style and make your edits. And all these little orange triangles, these are your hints to tell you what needs to be addressed. Doesn't necessarily mean there's something wrong, but most of the time there is. But sometimes it just wants you to know. Like for mine, it says Duchess Love. It's supposed to say Duchess DJ Love. So it gave me a thing. Is this the way you want my name to read? So I have to go in and add the DJ in there to it. Thank you, Marilyn, for this being great information. I hope you guys are learning something, and I'd say I'll help you hold your hands through this too. It's really looks a little scary, but it's not. And I hope everybody's enjoying this as well. Thank you, Nikki. And this little arrow, this little triangle here is telling you what I'm talking about. Let's say you want to put your photo here for your book cover. See these little tiny lines? You know, you can barely see them. Them little lines are the margin lines. And where it folds, your picture has to be a certain place within those lines that you're using. And if it doesn't flow like they want you to, then that's where some issues come into play. And we have one down here for your font, your layout, and your text. Oh, and the colors. So you can change the colors. As you'll see this, I chose this template, but I didn't want the pink for my money book because money's supposed to be green. You know, hey, I want the green fingers. So I changed mine to green. Granted, I don't like this green, but that was the green that you know that you start with. Like you have the basic colors to start with, then you can work from there. And as I said, these little icons down here at the bottom tell you what you can change. And if you get what you want, you can hit the save button and do a preview. Or you can start completely over like I did many times because I couldn't get it to work the way I wanted to, and I didn't really understand how to edit these little triangles. The little triangles were really bugging me, but I eventually got smart. But oh, they're help buttons. This is what you're supposed to do. And it tells you correct the prompts like this, and it tells you click to replace the placeholder back cover text. In other words, they give you filler information. And, you know, as you're doing this, you forget that, oh, you know, you see there's words there, but you're like, those are not my words. So it's like you got to go take those out and put your text in because, you know, you get busy, you just see it. And you can see how I've changed Duchess DJ Love. Before it was just Duchess Love. And let's say I'm doing this and I'm like, okay, now that I'm looking at it, I'm putting my information in. I really don't like this layout. It's not working for me. I can click on the choose layout and change it. And he'll take whatever I put here into the different format. It's not like you have to start over from scratch. He'll take what you already have and just place it where it's going to fit in the next layout. Oh, Addie, thank you. I'm so glad you're in this community, and I'm glad that we're a team. So we're helping each other out. And like I say, it's all about sharing the love. And choosing the fonts. You know, I want mine to look a certain way because, you know, royalty here, I want the royal look. So I want to change my fonts to look, as I call it, a little bit on the royal side. And then you may want yours so it's easy reading because granted, I've chosen this royal look, but it doesn't always take well in pictures. And you see it kind of looks a little blurred, but that's just the font. So we have to work with what we want. The actual book in hand looks much better with the font that I chose. But if you're trying to take a picture of it, sometimes it doesn't, you know, convey well. And here's an example showing the different fonts. So this is what I want to use. It will show you. This is how it's going to look. And these were kind of like the ones I wanted to see. Okay, which one do I like the best? And so this is where you can select those. And again, there's more than one way to do things. They make it easy for you. You can also click on, like I could click on Duchess DJ Love, and then I get a drop down box and I can try the different fonts. And also I can choose auto fit if it's, you know, if it's, let's say that make your money work for you was too big for that line across there or that space. It will show you how to auto fit it to make it work. And let's just say you just, you know, you tried so many and you didn't remember which one you liked. you hit reset style, and then it goes back to what it originally was. Because you might say, hey, I just want what I had to begin with. But after you change it so many times, you forget. Well, I don't remember. Did I have Open Sans? You know, did I have Railway? What font was I using that I really like? So just click your reset. That resets everything back to the original, which I think is very handy. Now, again, you can use their photos. Like I said, you can choose one. And then it's like you get to it and say, no, I want to add a different photo. And let's say you want your photo to be big or larger. You see how I have these where you can stretch it? You can stretch it to suit your needs. You can shrink it, stretch it. And these can be outside of the template lines. But the picture that you want must be within those margins, those little template lines. The picture that you want, what you want to see, must be in those lines. And it tells you, edit the cover image. You get choices and, you know, how you want to choose it or size it. And again, I'm just showing that you can choose different fonts. You can make it bigger. As I've seen, I made Money Matters bigger. I made it, you know, a little raised, put a little bit more emphasis on it. And see, you can play around with how you want it to look and do preview just to see how it's going to work for you. And again, I think here, I thought I had it the way I wanted. You notice I had my font changed. I still had the green the way I wanted it. It says choose a smaller font size so that my text can fit inside the text box. Because my little text box down here, I had put more, I typed more information than it will hold. So either you make the font smaller or you reduce the text that you're placing in that little paragraph. And or the big paragraph. These are two separate paragraphs. They don't flow together. And the same thing as we saw with the fonts, you can choose the layouts. You got the layout button and you can kind of look at the different choices. And then you can just click on the one that you want. And again, once you click on it, it's going to take all the information that's already here and put it in a new format so you can see what you had. And it'll tell you your cover contains placeholder images and or text. Go back and correct it. And, you know, either you can quit or you go back. I got this go back to fix quite a bit. So in a way, that's good because it's like it doesn't let something be unaligned or once the book is printed, it looks tacky. So I'm kind of glad they have these, I guess you place stoppers to get your attention so you can make the proper edits because you want your book to look good when it goes to publishing. Okay. Now, let's say after you've done all that, your cover looks good. It'll tell you, cover upload successfully. If you get some errors like this here, it tells you to go back. You got to go back until you get this part right. Because until you get a cover that they say is uploaded successfully, you cannot go any farther. This will stop you in your tracks. And you'll just spin your wheels until you get this part corrected. So now that you got your covers uploaded successfully, you have to launch a previewer to see if everything is going to print accordingly. And they'll tell you, looks like you made some changes. So you can't go forward until you address whatever these little boxes pop out. So you have to click the launch the previewer and look at all the changes and go through it to make sure that your manuscript now looks the way you want it to print. And again, you can save it as a draft if, you know, if you're working on it all night and you're just tired or you just like in the morning, I need a fresh start. I'll think about it then. Or if you know, everything's going well, you save and continue. Notice our next step is pricing. And when we go into the next step, you'll see it's preparing your files. They want your manuscript and book cover to generate a print-ready copy. So they go through all kinds of steps and reiterations behind the scenes to make sure that everything is in place for your print-ready book. And then it says check your cover for quality issues. Again, it's going to check the cover to see if, you know, it's going to print properly, that there's nothing that's outside of the margins, and it looks good. And when you get the print preview, guess what? I had some errors on this one. So this is what I like. It tells you how to correct them. It says I chose 6x9 trim, but the size of my interior file was submitted by 8x5 by 11. Well, if you think about it, that's the size of my Word doc. So instead of me worrying about trying to have my manuscript down to a 6x9, because that's the size of the book I wanted, I had my reasons, but that size of the book, you can click here and have them to paste the contents into a new file to do the trimming for you. So that's where you don't really have to know what trim size you want or how to make, when you typing it up to fit into this 6x9, you just know you want a 6x9 book. Do it in the Word doc. And again, this is where it makes it easy to convert for you. And see, they'll scale it to match your book's trim for you. They'll do all that in the background, which makes it easy for us. Let's just say, though, that you didn't have any errors. You had done so super well on yours, and you had everything down to the science. All your little I's dotted, your T's crossed, everything was in the little margins. You're perfect. You exit the print previewer and you approve it. Okay, as you can go forward, it tells you too what pages that I have some issues with. Thank you, Nika. I appreciate that. It tells you that I had some pages outside of my margins after they had kind of gone through and tried to match things up. What it is for me is I have pictures in here. So see, it tells you the images are outside the margins. So you'll have to go and look at those. And it tells you again, any kind of thing that you have that's not meeting their requirements, they'll give you the information, give you a quality check, tell you exactly where to go to make your corrections. And like I told you, see my image? It's outside the lines. And all these little red marks and red triangle, that's where they tell you, here's your errors. And if you notice down here in the bottom, when it told you page 15, it shows you 14 and 15, the page range, what the problem is. And again, I had another photo. See, it doesn't look like it's a photo, but I made this a photo. And that's how come it couldn't shrink it to fit like everything else. And again, it just samples of how it's showing you your errors for you to correct. Okay, now let's just say, I don't know exactly how to fix this. I need to kind of look at it in a document to see. This is where you can download a PDF proof, and then you can go through and mark the pages and go into your Word document and go and make the changes. So this is really good tool. This is kind of like seeing your book in print, even though there's work that needs to be done. Thank you, Marilyn. I'm looking forward to putting Money Matters to use to make everybody have their money work for them. And again, anytime there's any errors, you're going to get something that tells you, please fix the highlighted errors to continue. Because if you don't go any farther. You're done. And like this, let's say I've already made some changes. It tells me again, please review and approve your book. In other words, you have to go back and review any changes you make. Again, I can save it as a draft and work on it later, or I can, if I got time, let's save and continue, which we're going to do. We're going to save and continue. And again, it's showing me my errors that I had, but I got everything looking pretty good. I'm making sure my trim size and the bleeding is everything that I want, and it tells you. And you have to save. Saving is important because you don't want to lose what you've done. Save, save, save. Again, we're back to our status updates. My paperback details complete. My paperback content is still in progress because I haven't got those errors completely cleaned up and ready to go yet, but I will. Again, it tells you, hey, you got to launch the previewer. You made changes. You got to launch it before you can go anywhere else. Make sure that you've launched it and went through each page to approve your book. Quality check. Okay, this time I have met the approval. I don't have any errors. So I can hit approve and then exit the print previewer. Yay, as you can tell, I got paperback details complete, 1 check. Paperback contents, 1 check. Now we're on the pricing. And it'll tell you, after you get the book review and the launch preview and you don't got no little arrow underneath there, arrows or anything, it'll tell you, this is how much it's going to cost to print the book right now as you have it. This is your printing cost. not what you're going to sell it for, but this is how much you're going to have to give Amazon when it sells. And it lists how you want yours to look, pages and everything. And it'll tell you that your manuscript is updated successfully, your cover's uploaded successfully. So it looks good. We are ready for the next steps. Yes, Addie, me too. I'm close to turning my money matters around. So happy that my money is flowing freely towards me. Yes, let's all receive that. Because you have to put that in your mind and make your mind believe that money is coming to you. So it will make sure it does. This is the section where the pricing and royalty is calculated on how much you want to make. And it's easy. It tells you how much they're going to charge, how much they're going to get. And it's got these little boxes. You just put in the prices and see how it works out. You know how much money you want to make on it. You know how much it's going to cost you to print it. You just type in a sample and just see, what am I going to get from my royalties? Is this worth it? And at this point, you're pretty much ready to submit it. But let's go back to this. It also shows you in each country what you will get in royalties, because it may cost more to ship it to UK or make some whatever else. That's where you need to look at these things. And just because it sells for one price in one country, it may need to be a lot higher in another one based on the distribution channels. And so here you're ready. You know, you got everything ready to publish. All the things that then it says it can take up to 72 hours, and it does take right at the 72 hours. And you can read their terms and conditions. And let's say that before you publish it, you want to really see a proof copy. You want to see it in your in your hands, a tangible copy, and thumb through it and just double check that it looks to suit you. This is where you request the proof. You do not have to request the proof to publish your book. So at this point, you can hit the little yellow button, publish your paperback book now, and you have zero cost involved. Zero, 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 zero. Nothing. It's free. But like me, I wanted to see a tangible copy in my little hands first. You request a proof copy. The proof copy is only going to be the publishing cost. They don't charge you anything extra. It's just how much it costs to print it out. And that's what you pay, and they ship it to you. You can get more than one copy if you want to. Because I wanted one copy as it was, and then I wanted a second copy so I could just go ink it up. But I wanted one because it was my first book. I just wanted, hey, this I'm going to save forever. This is a cherished moment. I'm proud of myself. I'm now a published author. Even though I hadn't hit to publish my paperback book, I had the book in my hands. To me, that gave me gratitude. That gave me self-respect for me. It made me very proud. So that's how come I wanted my proof. And then that's it. You publish your book. And congratulations, you have published your book. You are now a proud author. You can go tell all your friends about your book. You can go on different social media platforms and promote it or use other channels. Amazon also has a way to publish for you. You can pay them a little bit of money. It's not very expensive, and they'll promote your book. Like mine's it's in finance. I can tell them whenever someone searches for finance, I can pay them to make my book pop up. I can't make someone choose my book, but I can pay Amazon. Remember those keywords that we searched on? Those are what they'll use. If someone searches that key, my book will pop up. So to me, that's great. But I don't have to pay any money to do that. I can just, use whatever free channels out there. Like you can come on my Gallivanting Like a Royal show and say, hey, I'm such and such. This is my book. It's just published. I'll be glad to promote you. You got social media. They are free too. Facebook, YouTube, go on other friends' shows, have your friends that buy your book to post it. Word of mouth is usually the best way to get your book sold anyway. But then again, you never know. You might be at a conference and someone asks, what are you doing? Like, hey, I do such and such, but I just published a book on such and such. Well, you know what? I have an interest in that. How do I get your book? And you tell them, and then they tell someone else. And that's the way we get to be millionaires. But again, it does not happen overnight. So don't think it's instant success, but it can be with the proper tools. And thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Nikki. This was awesome. Yes, Marilyn's ready to publish another book now. So that's all I have for you tonight, Royals. Thank you for watching my show. Of course, I got to close out with a little travel too, show off some, travel to get you inspired for, just enjoy a fascinating life. That's the way I look at it. So how many of you been to Hawaii? Who wants to go to Hawaii? I do. So here we go. Hello, Royals. Duchess DJ Love here. Gallivanting like a royal.